day, viewers. Welcome to another episode of the UNIBEN Alumni Series. As you know, the show is a platform where we showcase great men and women that have graduated from one of the best tertiary institutions in Nigeria and in West Africa as well. And on today's episode, we have a special guest. He is the current rector at the Oyo State College of Agriculture and Technology, Igbo-Ora, Oyo State. He was one time with the National University Commission, if I'm correct. His name is Professor AKINOLA, AKINLABI. I think I got that correctly. Thank you very much, Prof, for creating time to be part of this show. Thank you, Professor Akinola.
Thank you, Mr. Omokaro. Nice being here today.
Thank you very much, Prof. We'll go straight to business. We know you are a very busy man. So we'll go straight to the very first question we have for you, Prof. You have a Master's of Science in chemistry, industrial chemistry. Yeah. You have business administration, and also you have a PhD from the University of Benin. Why did you choose University of Benin? Why UNIBEN?
Yes, you say there is what we call destiny. I had my first degree from UNILAG, and immediately I completed my youth service. One of my brothers, who just died 2 years ago, he was a lecturer at the optometry department. That's UNIBEN AKINLABI. So he told me, he said, do you still want to go back to Lagos, or you want to come and join me in Benin? And I said, Egmont, we look so close. I said, Egmont, you know, I like Benin. At least while you're in Benin, I've visited you several times, and I prefer to come over and stay with you in Benin. Immediately I said that. He picked the form for me and another cousin of mine, who equally is a professor now. That's Professor Nuruddin Oladoja. He lectures at Akungba University. So he picked the form for the two of us and said, the two of you study chemistry. I have one man I like in the Department of Chemistry, and I don't know if you can come around and discuss with him. He mentioned Professor Okeme. So
Professor Okeme, I think he retired recently.
Yes, about 2 years ago.
Yes.
So, and that was it. I traveled to Benin. I spoke with Professor Okeme. It saw the genuinity in me and the sincerity of someone who embraces academics. And he said, I won't mind picking you with what you've said. So that was it. So got to Benin, and that was where I discovered myself, and that was where everything started up till now. No regrets whatsoever to have passed through UNIBEN University.
That's great to hear, Prof. Also, I've been inquisitive about your Master's in Business Administration. You are in the sciences, chemistry. Your first degree was in chemistry education. Master's in chemistry. But why business administration? You also backed the Master's in Business Administration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wakaro, for that. Well, those who are in or growing up around that time, 92, 93, 94, there were embargoes on employment. So government said no employment. Now, it looks so funny. I went to meet one MD of, the multinational. As we were talking, he said, you did chemistry education, you had your master's in industrial chemistry. Good, this is an industry. but it would be better if you can go for your MBA. And at that time, MBA was hot cake. If you have MBA, but the school fees for MBA was the highest among any other program. And once you have the MBA, you know you are sure of securing job. I looked at it. Who am I? This man has given me a challenge. I don't know might be in the near future. I picked the form, I enrolled, and believe you, towards the tail end, as I was completing the MBA, I've lost interest in going to industry again. And now, why don't I just stay in the academic environment and continue with what I know how to do best? I just completed that and picked the PhD form, and that's the story till today.
That's really exciting to note. Prof, yeah, you talked about not regretting your journey to the University of Benin and all that. As a chief executive today, as rector of a polytechnic, of a tertiary institution, what experience did you gather from UNIBEN that you think are still very handy today in the discharge of your responsibility?
Well, I would say that I passed through UNIBEN, UNIBEN passed through me, the two together. When, you see, what makes you a complete man is what I found in UNIBEN. One, the kind of lecturers, the way they impact the knowledge in you, the kind of relationship you have with your students. At the time we were having masters, that was a master's program in chemistry precisely. We were just like 16 in the class, and that was 1992. We were just like 16 in the class, and we were so close to each other that till today, in fact, just last weekend, about 9 of us saw ourselves again. One of us had a program. We thank God to WhatsApp platform. We keep coordinating. In life, when you talk about administration, how to relate with human beings, how to accept fate, and how to lead as a good leader, you see all these in UNIBEN. I found them in UNIBEN. I made them part of my life, and it has helped me a lot. If I see my friends, if you see the way you talk, the way we relate, you will think maybe we were born from the same but we all met, you know, but the rapport is still there. The memory still lingers, and everybody appreciates what God has done for all of us. So where I am today, UNIBEN made impact. The knowledge I'm using from UNIBEN, the leadership skill I'm using from UNIBEN, the MBA program I studied has already helped in administration and also in human relation. So UNIBEN made me, no doubt about that.
Prof, you talk about fond memories. You had memories in which do you place highest? Which can you remember now? I said, oh, I can never forget that incident while I was a student at the university.
Well, you know, we have our own clique too. The masters students, and they are in charge of supervising or assisting the laboratory, practicals, all that. There was this funny day. We normally group students together because we don't have enough apparatus. And once you are grouped together, you need to go and sign for chemicals. They are consumables. So we share the chemicals accordingly. So the three of us who are assigned to be in charge of that particular practical, there was one group, I think about 8 or so in that group. 4 of them were nothing. They just want to copy what others did. Well, me being a smart supervisor, I've been watching them. I know is that okay. When it's now time to write a report, and I now call one of my colleagues, go and ask those other guys who have not been in the lab since that, who gave them the chemical, which chemical did they use? Could you imagine? The 4 lazy ones gave different answers. 4 of them gave different answers. And I look, when you are playing pranks, you should know that you don't need to play pranks on those who are smarter than you. Actually, if the 4 of you cannot give the same answer, it means you are not there. You can imagine when you have about 200 students coming in for practicals, you group them. Some would want to dodge, go out and play, come back, just come towards the end, see what others have said. So, and I need to say this, that's experience actually made me to believe that it's always good to keep eyes on your words, on those who are under you. Keep eyes on them. Don't just allow them to, lose, feel loose, or do things without being monitored or supervised.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you for letting us know that, Prof. I would like you to tell us about your time in France and in the United Kingdom. I think in the late 90s, around 1998, you were selected by the United Nations for office projects to represent Nigeria in France and in the United Kingdom for a course. Yes, and at that point, that mission, you were representing Nigeria. You were like the flag bearer of Nigeria. So was it a burden to you, looking at the responsibility and expectation from you? Was it a burden while you went to France and later United Kingdom for that course?
It was not a burden at all. It was one of the things I looked up to. Actually, what led to that? In 1997, just as you said, there was a conference in Benin of African natural rubber, all rubber producing countries in Africa. And there were 4 of us then: Nigeria, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Gabon. So at the conference, there were, rubbers from Africa are always low price. They always put a discount on them. So there is need to eradicate that discount. And as at that time, I did my industrial chemistry master's project on natural rubber. I hope you are following now. So I have a direct link with Rubber Research Institute in Benin City because of my project. And part of what I did was similar to what the conference is about to address. So met with the director of Rubber Research Institute then, late Dr. Ashinon, who immediately he saw my CV and the way I spoke. He just said, there's embargo on employment, but I can, make you one of the casual staff. I was the first casual staff to be employed that day. And I said, there's going to be a conference on rubber, so, that if I have any paper that I can present. Well, I said, why not? So I just buckle up my MSc thesis, all that. And I was given like 10 minutes to address the audience. And that was where the United Nations representative saw what I presented and immediately contacted late Dr. Fashino that there are opportunities for 2 Nigerians to be trained in our thoughts on what this man has just presented. And I learned that the man is not a permanent staff of your research institute. Will there be a way out? Dr. Fashino said, yes, there will be a way out. So we did all the paperwork and I got to France. When I got to France, so many equipment, machines we've seen in books, in that I was opportune to use them and also to repair them. So from there, I went for another master's in London, but master's in polymer science, computing, and engineering. So making me having 3 masters now. But that was sponsored by UNOPS, by United Nations again, just because they saw my performance in France. As at that time, there was an agreement with Nigerian government that this man that has been trained in France and UK, he will be the Nigerian representative at port to certify all polymer products coming in and out. So, yeah, I returned to Nigeria with the expectation that the government will implement United Nations recommendation. So also other 3 African countries, Cote d'Ivoire was represented, Cameroon was represented, and Gabon was represented. And I'm happy to say that all those representatives from other countries, we are still very close till today. We are still. I got to Nigeria. I'm sorry to say this. Nigeria government will not pay the counterpart funding. United Nations thought it was a joke. How much is the counterpart funding to be paid? And believe you, that was how we lost that opportunity. So today, nothing like that. Even the standard organization of Nigeria that's supposed to benefit from the training I had from that, well, it's not too good to say it, but it's so sad that Nigerian government did not meet up.
Do you regret coming back to Nigeria?
No regret. No regret at all, because I've impacted my knowledge on so many people. So many people. I've produced 11 doctorate students and over 35 masters. Undergraduates, I mean, I cannot even mention. So those are trained, they are still there. No regrets, just that we wouldn't have been here. We would have gone a bit higher and would have added value to the polymer world and polymer industry in Nigeria. No regrets.
Oh, thank you, Prof, for that. I understand you are also very part of the UNIBEN Alumni Association Ogun branch. You are described the secretary of the association. So you are still very well connected to University of Benin. But as Chief Executive Officer of your Polytechnic now, is there any collaborative venture between your institution and the University of Benin? Is there plans, or is there anything on ground already, or is there future plans between the 2 institutions?
Yeah, UNIBEN is part and parcel of me. When I left Benin and I came to FUNAB, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State, that was when I resuscitated UNIBEN Alumni Association, Ogun chapter. And I had to invite the president then, which we had a beautiful inauguration. And that was in 2010. that 2010 or 2009. And since then, there is anything when it comes to UNIBEN that you won't see me. Anytime we're having a biannual general meeting, I will hope you will just see me there. For the last 3-4 years, there were problems at the national. That's at the national. But in my chapter, no problem. If you look at the bar, you can see UNIBEN alumni.
It's boldly seen at the back.
Yes, I'm always proud of it anytime, anything. And I've used all what God has given me to support the school and the alumni. I don't need to loud it, but if you ask members,
please,
about
we want
me,
we want to hear directly from you, Prof. Yes, I know in your modest nature you will not like to, but please, for the sake of posterity, we would like some of these things, yes, to be heard.
Well, in any establishment, there will be leaders to lead and guide. And there is a small quote in Yoruba that says, "Olowo ni segbe." Those who are involved in the association, you must have something to give. Money, time, commitment to give to run the association. Why some will be pulling you back, you don't need to look at that. I always believe to give back to a system that has produced you. That's my policy, and which is what I've been doing. Come to the chapter. There is most meetings we contribute to fund it. Just about 3-4 of us at times. Events, 2-3 of us, we come together, fund it. Programs, enlightenment programs, donation, giving scholarship to students. Mention that. We are just making sure that UNIBEN Alumni Association is well known all over, wherever we are. We identify and we make sure we encourage fresh graduates to come and be part of the Alumni Association. So let me just mention those few. If you want me to elaborate, the whole time will be consumed. Thank you.
Okay. Prof, also, like I asked earlier, is there any plans between your institution, the Polytechnic, and University of Benin? Maybe exchange programs, or is there any plans? Are you putting anything in place for that?
As at now, I will say no. Why? Because of distance of my institution and UNIBEN. In fact, just a few weeks ago, I got an MOU signed between my institution and Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, to run their degree programs. I will have done same for UNIBEN, but you know our people, distance and the level of insecurity presently will discourage some parents to allow to travel all that far. However, I mean, it's still an I hope now. Nevertheless, we still keep thinking if there could be any way,
online, just online and all that.
It's I will be happy to have that done before my tenure expires, or I mean, I will be happy to have such done. That's a good one. I've thought of NAB, and we've already started sign MOU, but it has not dawned on me to extend that to UNIBEN. But in other areas, we will. It could be on research visits, training of staff. Why not? It's something that we will look into.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. The very last one, Prof. You have journeyed around the world for academic, for knowledge and all that. You have gone to several institutions. Where in all of these, where do you place UNIBEN? Where do you rank UNIBEN amongst all these institutions? And like you said earlier, UNIBEN did not just give you academic knowledge. it made you a complete man, as you said in your own words. So where do you rank UNIBEN amongst all these institutions you have attended?
Yeah. If anybody asks you who was the richest man in the world 10 years ago or 5 years ago, you might not know. But if anybody should ask you, who was your best primary school teacher or your secondary school teacher, you won't think twice. It was Mr. Lagbaja. Why? Because he made impact in you. Because you saw that person as your role model and you followed that person. So that is it. So if you ask me, which of the universities will I rate? And at the time I was in UNIBEN was when I discovered myself. And that answer everything. I will still rate UNIBEN as the best. Just for you to know, last week I was in Benin. I went for an oral examination of a PhD student. And
Okay.
I've examined more than 15 PhD students in UNIBEN. So it means I'm giving back to that system that made me. And that is a thing of joy. When you go back to the school you graduated from, what was done to you about 25, 30 years ago, you are now doing it back. That satisfaction, that joy will be there, that wow, so this is my own. And you say something is your own, you will guide that thing jealously. You won't allow that thing to just go like that. You want to add value to that thing and you want to be proud of it because it's your own. So UNIBEN still the top.
Thank you so much, Professor. We really appreciate you. We thank you for sharing your thoughts and your time at the University of Benin. We have been speaking with Professor Akinlabi Akinola. He is the rector of the Oyo State College of Agriculture and Technology. Thank you very much, sir. It was nice having him, and by next episode, we promise to bring to you another distinguished alumnus of our university who will be here to share his or her thoughts and share his or her story about the time at the University of Benin. Thank you. I remain your host, Kevin Omokaro. Bye for now.